Honkai Star Rail has finally lost me, but it's made me more motivated than ever to play Genshin Impact. Okay, listen guys, this is gonna be a bit of a different video, right? But I saw this article pop up on my feed on my phone, and I was like, damn it, man, I have to read this. I have to see what is happening, okay? I want to see the reasons. It is a good talking topic. It is a very good title, okay? And let me explain why I think this is a very good title. Is because I understand his point completely. And I feel like when I'm gonna be reading this, I feel like I kind of can get an idea of why he's so done with Honkai Star Rail and why he learned to appreciate Genshin Impact, right? There's a main reason, which I'm going to talk about later if it's not mentioned, but if it is, it's going to be perfect, okay? All right, let's get it, okay? Opinion, Honkai Star Rail is a great... Honkai Star Rail is a great JRPG that I don't want to keep playing. So, okay, if it's so great, then why do you not want to keep playing it? Okay, just say you don't like it. Just say it's boring for you. It's stale, okay? Just say it straight up, okay? Let's see. I can pinpoint the moment I realized I've had enough of Honkai Star Rail, an unquestionably great JRPG per dated Honkai Star Rail PS5 review, and that it would never replace Genshin Impact for me. Okay, I've been playing both games since launch and have grown familiar with the playbook of shared developer Hoyoverse. Yeah, of course, we all know how Hoyoverse functions, okay? It's all about the character hype, it's all about the story, and then you pay them to get the characters if you can resonate with them, okay? We understand that completely. Obviously, is it 4 week or a 6 week? I think it's they lowered it to a 6 week like update cycle, right? Or is it still 4 weeks or 6 weeks? I actually cannot tell because I play these games on and off so much that like I honestly cannot tell. I just go by the banners. like my time scaling in Genshin and Honkai Star Rail is like, okay, when are the banners coming out? Okay, so this banner finishes at this day or in this amount of days. Okay, so that means the week before it will be the live stream, and then the week after when the banner finishes, or 2 days after the banner finishes, there will be the next update, right? So that's usually how I do it. I've been playing both games since launch and have grown familiar with the playbook of shared developer Hoyoverse, but while I like Genshin more than ever, I've officially had my fill of Star Rail and shelved it. Okay, so he shelved Honkai Star Rail. So why did you do that? This has inadvertently made me unpack how and why I enjoy JRPGs and live service games, and has ultimately made me more motivated than ever to play Genshin. I know why. I feel like I know why. A tale of 3 characters. Okay. Both games have released several new characters in the past month or so, and I pulled for all of them. Okay, so you got Novelet and Risley in Genshin, interesting, as well as Jing Liu in Star Rail, ultimately quitting the latter before the recent release of Topaz, who I wasn't very interested in anyway. Okay, so you pulled for everybody that was out so far during both patches. The very first time I used Novelet's charge attack, which is just straight up Hydro Pump from Pokemon, I busted out laughing and pulled for him. I had the exact same reaction. I was like, yo, that's so cool. And then I was like, I have to get him, man. I have to get him. This is like a must pull character. He is on the fun scale, one of the most fun characters to use in Genshin Impact right now. And mainly because he's fresh in my mind and he's new, but also because it's just like, there is really nobody else that has that. Okay, there is literally nobody else that has something like this in Genshin. Like, this is new. This is new and this is fresh, okay? So, yeah, it is so sick. It is so sick. The very first time I used Novel Search, like, yeah, straight up 100 pump. Yeah, pulled for him plus a duplicate for his first constellation. I am not sure his first constellation does. I pull for C0s of every character. If I get constellations, it's just random. Immediately, no question. I want this character. Same. The exact same thing happened with Risley combo attacks. Finally, a fighter who uses gauntlets. Yeah, so I was looking for a character that uses gauntlets for a while. I did kind of have my fill with Hazo, right? If you guys know who Hazo is from Genshin, he kind of does his like little 1-2 combos. He uses punches too. He's a 4-star animal character, right? And like Risley, like his kit is cool, don't get me wrong, but it's not as flashy as I would like it to be. So I just said, okay, Chlorine is around the corner. This is the character that I wanted the most in the new region, right, in Fontaine. So I will skip Risley and then pull for Chlorine. Okay, that is the only reason, and it's also because I'm broke, so I can't get them all. But like the main reason is I'm just saving for Chlorine, right? The exact same thing happened with Risley combo attacks. Okay, finally a fighter who uses gauntlets. Yeah, he is cool. I understand the aesthetic, I understand the hype. Both characters are immensely fun to play and let me use some of my years-old favorites like Beidou and Shenhe in new teams. Yeah, Beidou and Shenhe go really well with Risley, obviously because you want him to do as much like cryo / physical damage. Also, you know, super conduct. You got super conduct here. Beidou also works with Novelet for taser team, right? You go fish Beidou, or you could go Raiden Beidou. It just doesn't matter. Like, a lot of things also work with Novelet. That's why he's so fun. Like, just the sheer amount of different team comms you can put with a Hydro character is crazy. Like, you've got the tasers, right? You've got the vapes, right? You've got the freeze, right? Like, there's just loads. And Shenhe obviously works really, really well with Risley for extra cryo damage. She's like a cryo DPS boost character, basically. Yet when I got Jing Liu in Star Rail, nothing really changed. She's just a new DPS carry, making her my third alongside Zili and Kafka. Dude, making it your third along Zili and Kafka. Dude, I've got Zili. I don't have Kafka. I actually didn't pull for Kafka, right? I skipped her, which is kind of crazy from me, right? I've got Zili. I've got Jing Wan, I've got Jing Liu right now, right? Dan Heng, Blade, Shushang. I've got so many DPS characters, and now I'm gonna summon for Topaz. So like, I've got so many. It is just ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I leveled her up, got her geared, brought her into end game dungeons, and promptly destroyed everything. Yeah. Yep. Like, I done Memory of Chaos 10, and I haven't even fully built her, I'm pretty sure. It was just so brain dead and so easy. Like, it was fun to do, and I did have a bit of a challenge, but that challenge was there because she wasn't fully built. But I didn't feel anything. Jing Liu has a stance changing gimmick, but it doesn't significantly alter the flow of combat. Her optimal teams aren't meaningfully different from the Zili team I've been playing for months, and this is largely true of other DPS units like Emilde Lune and Blade as well. Yeah, so basically the way this game is, if you're a whale, or if you're you summon for the OP characters, is you have a DPS, and then this DPS will either need a Ting Yun or a Bronya, right? And then for your healers, you either have a Luocha if you pulled for him. If not, then you've got the new Quantum one. You've got Bailu. Like, just choose any sustain, right? Any sustain. Obviously, if you can match the elements, it's good. But you got your DPS, you got your boost, which is Ting Yun, Yukong, or Bronya. Then you've got your sustains, which is Luocha, Bailu, Natasha. You got the two quantum ones as well, right? And then the last one is either a sub DPS, a Phil, or a Shielder, which is like gonna be Geppy, MC, just whatever, right? Like, there is team building in this game. There's lots of different ways you could build the teams, but you've got the OP characters that you would also always want on your teams, unless you want to experiment, right? Let's have a look. And this is largely true of the other DPS units. Yeah, they have slight quirks, but damage is damage. Yeah, that's the thing. Damage is damage. The thing about Honkai Star Rail is like this, right? It is a... Like, I already knew what I was signing myself up when I played this game from the very beginning. It was gonna be a character collecting gacha, an element collecting gacha. So I already knew what my plan was from the very beginning when I first started playing this game. This is basically like, you just go in and then you want to collect a DPS from every element, a support from every element, right? And maybe a sub DPS or whatever from every element, and then have and mix and match different team comps. This is ideally like this is a gacha game that you summon for characters for, just to switch up your team comps and to build different team comps. This is the same reason why I played Genshin. This is the same reason why I summoned for different characters and built so many different characters at the beginning, even though it wasn't ideal or it wasn't a good idea to do it at the beginning, right? You, like in Genshin, you want to build one team and make it very strong to carry you through all the content, but I didn't do that. I just built different team comps because I wanted to try them out. And it's the same with Honkai Star Rail. Like, ideally, you just want to build different team comps and have fun in that aspect, right? Now, the problem is what happens in between, because building and having them built is different, right? So, Genshin Impact is a third-person open-world action RPG, while Honkai Star Rail is a turn-based JRPG. On my last point, by the way, I know I'm kind of jumping around. I'm pretty sure he's going to talk about the point that I was mentioning before, like building, the difference between building and build is going to be mentioned here. So I'm going to explain it as I'm reading, okay? Genshin Impact is a third-person open-world RPG, while Honkai Star Rail is a turn-based JRPG. Yes, I guess you can only make taken turns feel so different. Yes, whereas characters like Novelette and Risley have immediate and bespoke playstyles with a kinetic wow factor. See, the kits for a turn-based game, in order to have fun with a kit, you have to kind of build it. I feel like you have to have it built. So, whereas, you know, like, because it's all about the damage in a turn-based game. It's all about the damage. It's all about taking turns. It's all about making the most out of your turn. Either going faster, either making it work with your other team. You kind of have to like put all the puzzle pieces together before it's fun. Whereas in Genshin, you summon for that character and you could literally play him from level 1 and have fun, right? Because you can go in the overworld, you could be out in the world and just farm mobs with a level 1 character. If you're an endgame player, you will most probably have enough to build them straight away. Like, it is actually ridiculous how much like materials I've got on my account. I will not run out of anything ever, like on my account right now as I'm playing Genshin. The only thing that I will always need to collect is the new stuff that comes out on launch, because, you know, local specialties. I never have local specialties because I don't go out in the world. I don't go out in the world because I need to farm mobs, because I've got a shit ton of everything. So like, you know, it's just a rolling thing, right? But like my main point, right? Going back to my main point, you don't even have to level them up even if you don't have the books. Like they can actually work level 1 even if you're endgame, because you could just slap on a really good weapon. You can slap on artifacts, right? The artifacts themselves can give you enough HP and enough damage to actually go around the world level 1 and just destroy everything, because the overworld is just easy, right? So that's what I mean. Let's see. Where was I? Yeah, Rosley. Okay, Jingliu is just another character dishing out big numbers, and her teams generally play the same as other hypercarry teams: DPS, support, debuffer, healer, or tank, which is what I was saying previously. Okay, this golf in combat also ties into difficulty, which is a deal breaker for a lot of games for me. Genshin and Star Rail are both fundamentally easy. Yeah, they're easy. Once you're leveled and geared, you can steamroll both games pretty effortlessly. Yes, and this is gonna be, I don't know, this might be an unpopular opinion, right? But I feel like once you reach adventure rank level 60 in Genshin and Trailblaze level 70 in Honkai Star Rail, your game just becomes less fun. Like, the later you start Genshin, in my opinion, the better. Because you can actually have when you explore in Genshin Impact, the funnest thing for me was a sense of danger and challenge when I was exploring the overworld, right? You go in, there's a new mob, like, holy crap, what is this? This looks like a challenge, right? First time you encounter a Ruin Guard, it was scary. Now you can throw me 200 Ruin Guards, and I'm like, wow, free energy resource. Great, I'm just gonna fucking destroy it, right? But like, you actually learn the mechanics of the characters, of the enemies, of the mobs, right? Like, you go around, this is dangerous, you don't want to take on too many enemies from this, right? Oh my god, the Fatui, I need this element to destroy the shields, right? But when you hit like adventure rank 60, you go into a new area like you already own the place. There is no sense of danger, there is no sense of adventure. You just go in and it's a treasure chest collect simulator, right? It is just, there is nothing, like nothing. I actually did not enjoy exploring Sumeru that much, because like, even though it was a new area, it was fresh, it was a desert, it was like crazy. You go on the ground, there's pyramids, it's all fucking cool. Why does it matter when I know that at the end of the day I'm just gonna go into this pyramid like I fucking, like I owned it from the very beginning, with a map already involved in it? There was just nothing. Like, the only thing that was challenging is actually traversing the underground areas, because it was like a fucking labyrinth. I had no idea where to go, and it was just more annoying than enjoyable. Okay. Anyway, run over. Jingliu is just another character to know big numbers. Her team's generally the same. Yep. This golf in combat also ties to difficulty, which is a deal breaker. Yes. So once you're leveled and geared, you can steamroll both games pretty effortlessly. My Genshin characters are optimized beyond the boundaries of reason, and nothing is a challenge anymore. Exactly. But I still enjoy the combat system. Yes, and that is the main difference, okay? Even though the overworld and the exploration is not enjoyable, the source, the main bit of it, which is the combat itself, is fun. It is just fun. rotating the characters, giving yourselves buffs, using the actual damage dealers, making different teams that might be a bit wacky, but they work. It's just all part of the fun, right? Which is frankly light years ahead of the rest of the game for the punchy element mashing feel of it. Yes, that's true. But Star Rail is only fun for me when it's somewhat difficult. Yeah, because the whole point of a turn-based game is to solve problems. Like, you have to solve specific problems, you have to build characters in specific ways to actually be able to beat the content. For example, like, you know, you don't have enough damage, so you have to build that character. You don't, like, you get hit too much, or maybe the enemies move too fast, so now you have to build in or get a character that has a lot of crowd control. Maybe freeze, maybe have a full team full of this specific element so you can break the enemies before they can move, so you can slow them down, give them DOT, right? There's just a lot of different things that you have to think about. But right, there's a but. If you have 1 Silver Wolf and 2 you summon for E6 characters or even multiple add-ons of a character, you will beat everything no matter what. Like, and I feel like that's just not a good thing, right? Like, I know they have to make it so you can beat everything in the game free to play, because, you know, that's kind of the Hoyo versus thing, right? Like, they need to make the difficulty so you can beat the game as a free to play character. They've done the same thing with Genshin, they're doing the same thing with, you know, Honkai Star Rail, right? But I feel like that's the problem when going for a turn-based game, right? Last turn-based game I've played was freaking Dragon Quest on the PlayStation 2. That shit was one of the best games I've played ever when I was a kid. Like, that was so sick. It was an amazing one. I can't remember exactly which Dragon Quest it was, but it was just such a cool one, right? It was such a cool game. It was very challenging. I was very little. I was like 9 or 10, so I was really stupid as well, right? So it was just even more fun for me because I didn't understand how to play video games. But in this game, you can spend to gain power, right? So now they have to obfuscate this. Like, okay, we got to make it so it is... It's not easy. It is challenging enough for a free-to-play player, but it's doable and it's realistic for them to complete it. But now, what are you going to do about the people that wail? Okay? Because it has to be challenging. Otherwise, the whales are just going to get bored of the game. They will just get completely bored, right? And they will just quit. So I feel like that's a really tough choice for them to do. Now, you got Swarm 5. I was able to beat Swarm 5 and I don't spend as much. You've got all of the other different game modes that they introduced, right? You got the Simulated Universe as well, which is also not that challenging. You've got the new one, which is an endless one. That one is kind of for the whales because it's infinite and you could get as much points as you can. So I get it, right? Like, I feel like you need to bring out more of these to engage the whales. But fundamentally speaking, there is no challenge in Honkai Star Rail, right? Especially after Trailblaze level 70. Even 60, I would say. There is just no challenge. Like, I am also summoning knowing that I can already beat the game. But I am summoning because I want to have, like I said before, every DPS of every element and every support of every element, so then I could actually like puzzle together teams to counter specific bosses and counter specific flaws and Memory of Chaos, Swarm, whatever, right? That's the fun. That's my fun. It's just not actually beating the content, is making optimal teams to counter the content, if that makes sense. Yeah, when it's difficult, because the strategic satisfaction of any turn-based combat system evaporates without a genuine challenge. Exactly. Tension and danger are likewise essential to games like XCOM, Into the Breach, Marvel's Midnight Suns, or turn-based RPGs like Shin Megami Tensei, Etrian Odyssey, or Octopath Traveler. I have not played any of those games, by the way, so I have no idea what he's talking about. A sense of difficulty pushes me to make my character stronger and think harder in combat. Exactly. I don't need to think harder if I can literally auto-play my way through any fight, whereas Genshin's moment-to-moment action always feels good when I'm bullying the weak enemies. So, feels good even when I'm bullying the weak enemies. Like, how many times have you guys been lacking a specific material from a specific mob and you're like, oh my god, bro. I gotta go out to the world and farm this bullshit. Bro, fuck, man. It's gonna take ages. You can also have that feel in Genshin, okay? Now, obviously, in Genshin, like I said, the combat is fun, so you can run around and just completely dumpster everything, and it'd be fun, right? Like for example, look, I'm gonna give you a live example of which is kind of proving him right and wrong at the same time, right? So watch. Let me go on my novelette, right? So this is what he means by actually having fun, right? So for example, I got this character, right? Which is the character we've been talking about. It's novelette. You run up on some random bozos, right? And it's like, all right, boom, boom. Let's go, bro. He can't reach him. See? This is what I mean. This is the fun. This guy, he's supposed to be challenging. Watch. Boom. Boom. Hydro pump him. Why did he turn around? There we go. Boom. And this is basically what you do. You just run around the world and you just dumpster enemies like this. Collect some stuff. Yeah, that's fine. There's a daily around here somewhere. I don't know what they want from me. Okay, protect the land. Alright, this is gonna be a better example, right? So basically, you just run around the world. You need to collect some materials. Right? I'm just gonna do this for my daily, right? You got a couple of people. Boom, slap off this. Change to Benny. Boom. Slap this. Slap this. Go. Brrr, 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 brrr. Go again. Brrr, brrr. Boom. See, this is what I mean. It is so satisfying to just completely annihilate and destroy mobs, right? But how long can you do this for before it gets boring? That's my thing. Like, how long can you do this before it gets boring? Now, obviously, in Honkai Star Rail, it gets boring much faster because, you know, a Honkai Star Rail character doesn't have Hydro Pump, right? But and you cannot actively control it, right? Like, look, I can float whilst he's doing it. Boom, I can spin it around. I'm actually live aiming it, right? Which is pretty cool. But like this is what I mean. Going back to the point. Like it is fun, but to a certain degree, okay? The amount of resources you need to farm at the very beginning of Genshin, or sorry, mid-game of Genshin is crazy, right? Because at the very beginning you don't have to farm as much, but mid-game, it is crazy and it gets boring really, really fast. Okay, but Star Rail is only fun for me when it's somewhat difficult. Yes. Tension and danger are likewise essential to games like XCOM. Yeah, we've read that. Okay. I don't need to think harder if I can literally autoplay my way through any fight. Whereas Genshin's moment-to-moment action always feel good, even when I'm bullying the weak enemies. Yeah, so even when you're bullying the weak enemies, it is, he's right, but to a certain degree. Okay, he's right, but to a certain degree. Because it will get boring as well, right? What makes JRPGs fun? Okay, this got me thinking, because a lot of JRPGs are like this. I'll follow the same basic team archetype for the whole game, and quite often outpace the difficulty curve, but still happily play for 60 or 90 or 150 hours or more. What's different in Star Rail? Is it a function of how long I've played this game? It's not like I've put in 500 hours or something wild, but time is surely a factor. I think this isn't, wait, this just isn't a forever game for me. Damn. Maybe it's because of how grindy it is. That's also part of it. But I think the underlying problem is character progression. Yeah. So, I've made a video on this like ages ago. As I was like, I've seen the main problem with Honkai Star Rail, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people seen it too. I think Mtash saw it as well, because I made a video with Mtash, or covering Mtash video on it, and got my own input on it. The main problem of Honkai Star Rail is the character progression is just not It's not a satisfying thing to do. Like, literally, I'm on Honkai Star Rail right now. Guess where I am? I'm in front of the fucking Hunt Calyx, Crimson Calyx fucking piece of shit. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Because Topaz is out, and I'm gonna get her. And what is she? She's Hunt. So what I'm gonna do? Farm fucking traces for 2 weeks until the next character comes out. I could not pre-farm Topaz because I literally just finished grinding out my traces for Jingliu. Now you're probably saying, yo Dom, why the fuck are you 10-10-10ing Jingliu? You could just go to 8 and that will be it, right? Like, why are you doing so much? But then my answer to you is, what else is there to do? Min-max the relics, which are also very, very punishing to do. Like, I would much rather do the guaranteed damage first, which is what I said before, and then go for relics last. But the problem is, it takes so long to farm your traces, which is worth it, and it's the most efficient thing to farm because it's the most guaranteed form of damage, right? But it takes so long that by the time I finish farming a character's traces completely, the next character comes out, and then I have to farm for that next character, whether it's a 5-star or a 4-star, right? Now you could also tell me, just don't summon for them, forehead. Like, what the fuck is this game then? Okay, if I'm not gonna summon for new characters and actually have my fun with new characters, why am I playing this game? Just to use one character for the rest of the game? Like, what the fuck? Like, you need to have new characters. This is a character. This game is made for you to collect characters. This is a collection gacha game, okay? Character collection gacha game. That's the whole point. So making the trace system so boring and so long to farm was a very big mistake for them, in my opinion. It was a very, very big mistake. Also, going back to the relics are not only not guaranteed, but they're also such an ass to farm. Like, getting the 4-piece and getting a good 4-piece as well as a good 2-piece from like just farming and just trying to get lucky is so annoying, right? Like, we know this. There are some characters that have 2 and 2 splits, or you could run 2 and 2 splits for certain characters and you can obfuscate, you know, some damage. It's fine. But like, if you want to have a nice and a clean build, you need to go 4-piece and a 2-piece on most characters. And the problem is how long it takes to farm. Obviously, for certain domains or whatever you want to call them, there is, like, for all of them, there is 2 different sets. So now you have to get lucky and win the 50-50s every time to get the right set for the right character. There's just a lot of things to consider when farming relics. So traces are your best way to go, but they take ages. That is a very big problem, okay, in my opinion. Like I said, I literally just finished farming Jingliu, and now Topaz is out. I'm gonna finish farming Topaz, and then the next character will be coming out, right? So yes, it is boring, okay? It is very, very boring. Like, the whole progress of farming characters is very boring and very long, and you don't play the game. You just auto the game, because you're not gonna farm, you're not gonna actively play in the same hunt domain over and over and over again. You're not actually actively gonna play. How I play this game is I just slap this on auto, go downstairs, make my food, go back up, okay, slap the next one on auto, I don't know, do something else, okay? Whereas in Genshin, you have to do the world bosses. You have to farm out the world. You have to collect the specialties to max out your characters. You have to interact with the game. You have to play the game. You have to farm the world. You have to do stuff. Okay, you have to do stuff. Even when you're farming for artifacts, you have to do the domains. You can't just auto skip the domains. You have to do them, which is a bother sometimes. And, you know, sometimes when you do the same domain over and over again, it is boring, but it does not take too long. Okay. Now, there is a big problem with domains in Genshin, which I should address, which is the run back or the restart of the domain. I don't see why you can't just collect your shit and then restart in front of the bosses or in front of the mobs and start it automatically. I don't know why you have to do that fucking run up the stairs. It's just annoying, it's boring, and it wastes your time. But nevertheless, the whole interact thing is a good thing in my opinion. Alright. Let's go back. Wait. It's not like I've put 500 hours. Okay, yeah, progression. Yeah, character progression. If I had to pick one thing, that sense of progression would probably be what keeps me coming back to JRPGs. I love building characters, unlocking new skills, combining classes, obtaining new weapons, and adjusting my party to suit them. Yes, the sentiment ate up roughly half of my Bravely Default 2 review, okay, and it's true for more recent favorites like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and Sea of Stars 2. I have no idea about those games. Honkai Star Rail doesn't really have that. Each character only has 3 core abilities: a normal attack, skill, and ultimate. Yep, and you don't have any control over them. There's no customization. Instead, you complete a character by leveling them up and unlocking all of their passive abilities. Everyone's Jing Liu, for instance, is identical. I mean, obviously, these characters are the game's primary selling point, so of course, players can't just customize them how they'd like. Now, there is nothing wrong with not being able, like, there's nothing wrong with not having character customization, but I feel like not being able to customize their kit is a bit boring, right? Like the only way you can customize a character's kit is their relics. But then again, isn't it kind of the same for Genshin? Like this gaming the gaming era here in 2023 that we have right now is a meta gaming era. Okay, it's a meta slave gaming era. Everybody will look at the most optimal build for a character and build it that way. So this argument, you know, the argument that everybody's Jing Liu, for instance, will be identical, is just gets thrown out the window, because the same thing goes for Genshin. Genshin characters have ideal builds, their best in slot artifacts, which is usually released with them with the new areas as the patches progress. So you can't even say that too, because the new the new artifacts come out with the new characters. Okay, for the most part, especially they get paired up with the 5-star characters, right? So there's a character coming out, right? You've got this specific character, you've got the best in slot weapon with the banner that's next to them, a new area with mobs designed to be counted by that character's mechanics, with an artifact set that is the best in slot character tailor-made for that character. Okay, like the game is holding your hand and they're telling you like, yo, look, hold my hand, let me drag you into this world, spend $200 for this character, for this 5-star, and I'm gonna hold your hand, and you're gonna completely dumpster through everything because everything is made just for you, just for this character. Okay, so Genshin also has that. Now obviously this is just the base case scenario. That doesn't have to be the case. Like I said before, if you're an end game player or you build specific characters, they will steamroll for anything, because that's the way the game has been designed, right? So anybody can do anything in the game. No matter who you build, you'll be able to blast through the content, right? For the most part. I'm not talking about Abyss. Abyss is a bit different. But yeah, not having customization or everybody's Jing Liu being the same is, in my opinion, it works the same way for both. For any gacha game, to be honest, now that I think about it, any gacha game has like just best in slot builds, best in slot weapons. It is all just made the same. Like, come on. It's all about the meta slave. And I'm talking about any gacha game. Okay, let's not forget about MMOs. I've fucking played Lost Ark for like more than 1,000 hours. Okay, like everybody had the same shit. If you didn't have the same cards, if you didn't have the same builds, if you didn't have the same best in slot this, best in slot that, sometimes you didn't even get fucking invited to parties. Okay, so like, yeah, this whole argument, is identical, is just thrown out the window. There could be a little differences, especially for builds in both Genshin and Honkai Star Rail. You might be different. You might be running a 2-2-piece here, 2-2-piece there, but like everything is the same to a degree, right? I think this is where gacha rules start to butt heads with my own taste in a way that Genshin never really has. What do you mean by that? Miss me with that grind. Without customization, progression would have to come from new characters who could change up team building, but unlike in Genshin, Star Rail characters haven't altered the feel for me. Okay, but I'm not interested in any tanks, healers, or DPS characters at this point because my roster feels well-rounded already. This means the only motivation for me to pull would be obvious power creep, which is an infamous gacha hang-up I don't want to deal with. Okay, so progression would have to come from new characters who would change up team building, but unlike Genshin, Star Rail characters haven't altered that feel for me. They haven't altered that feel for you. I actually disagree with this. Well, obviously, I don't disagree with what with his opinion, because that's how he feels. Okay, I just disagree with the whole concept of like not altering a lot. Like, for example, there is paths in this game for a reason, right? Like, I know it will get obvious, like at the end of the game, it will get like every path will obviously get boring for you if you've built out a team specific for that path. But for example, I wanted a cryo DPS character so I could try a remembrance run for Simulated Universe, or if I wanted to try a freeze team, for example, right? Like, I had a main DPS quantum damage dealer, I had Zeely, right, taking multiple turns. I had a really fast DPS, which was very, very fun, right? So I'm like, okay, now I want a DPS that hits hard. I had Dan Feng, right? So Dan Feng was my next like imaginary DPS, which he just dumpsters everything with a lot of skill points. He's like nice and strong. That was fun as well, right? I used Shushang as a hand physical DPS, where I usually concentrated her around breaking enemies' weaknesses. So if there was a physical weakness, I used my mono physical team with Clara and Shushang. That was really, really fun. You just have so many different like team comps that you could try and different ways that you could play the game. And then I finally got Jing Liu, and I was like, okay, now I can finally try a remembrance team. I can finally try a freeze team and see how fun that is. And that was awesome fun too. Now the next thing on my thing is Nihility. I want to try damage over time, so I'm going to wait for Kafka to rerun so then I could try my Nihility characters. It's just a lot of things you can go. Like, there is paths that you can try. So the reason why you probably felt like the game hasn't changed for you or it hasn't altered the feel is because you didn't want to experiment with different team comps. Like I said, like you pulled for like what the last three characters, it's probably the dev's fault as well a little bit, because like the last three characters were fucking destruction. Like, really, you put 3 destruction characters back to back to back, of course it's gonna feel the same for a lot of people. Of course, it's like you've got Dan Heng, oh wow, and then your new DPS that destroys everything that's imaginary weakness, oh wow, and then you got Blade, wow, so whenever there's a wind weakness, you just fucking destroy everything again because destruction. Oh, a Jing Liu, another ice destruction character, which fucking dumpsters anything that's weak to destruction. Of course it's gonna get boring and stale because you're not trying anything different. And that's also a bit of a dev's fault for releasing these characters back to back to back. But anyway, let's carry on reading. I'm not interested in any tanks, healers, or DPS characters at this point because my roster feels well-rounded already. That's fair enough. I just like to min-max my teams. I like my teams to look nice and clean. So if I'm missing a healer here or I'm missing a character there, I'm just gonna go for them and try to build in them teams or switch them teams around a little bit. This means the only motivation for me to pull would be obvious power creep, which is an infamous gacha hang-up I don't want to deal with. Power creep is cringe. I played a game that had so much power creep it was making me puke, and it's called Bleach Brave Souls. That game is a definition of power creep. I could talk about that. I might save a video for that specifically. But yeah, power creep in gacha games, man. Once they introduce it, it's ridiculous. It is basically pay to win at that point. Like, even more so than actually just normal gacha, like Hoyoverse gacha games. Sometimes too good. Okay, let's see. This means the only motivation, okay, which is an infamous gacha. Okay, Genshin has done a remarkably good job of minimizing power creep. Sometimes too good a job by releasing garbage characters. And that's one of the reasons I've stuck with it so long. No, that's a bad point, man. That is a very bad point, bro. That is a shit point. Do you guys not remember what happened with Dehya? So you're happy Dehya's kit is dog shit? Or sorry, her damage is dog shit. Because I'm fucking not. Like, that character, like Dehya is so fucking beautiful and she just feels so powerful. Why does she not hit like a truck? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, her doing the auras like fucking Jotaro's stand, but then hits like a sponge. What is this? Like, I know I cleared, okay, I cleared Abyss with Dehya. Okay, I did clear Abyss with Dehya. But like, why did it not feel good? Why did it just feel more like a bother clearing like Abyss with Dehya than actually feeling fun and awesome to do it? Like, it just like, no, it just didn't feel good. Like, she just like not seeing like small numbers, and also her ultimate being like being able to get interrupted. There's just a lot of things. So I actually don't feel like releasing like sometimes too good of a job by releasing garbage characters. I don't agree with this. I really don't. And the main reason why I don't agree with this, right, skipping Dekia's argument, is because this is a single player game. So who gives a fuck about power creep in a single player game? It doesn't matter. It's all about having fun. It's all about giving you really fun and strong characters. Like, you want to dumpster everything. That's the whole point of the game. You want to run around and you want to have strong characters, okay? And don't give me this minimizing power creep bullshit like they didn't fucking mess up with making Benny like the best 4-star in the game. Like, what the fuck? That character came out at the beginning of the game and I use him to this day. He's in my team right now. Like, there is no one better as a support than a Bennett. There is just not. And that's not, I don't know about you guys, but that's not minimizing fucking power creep to me. Okay? Anyway. And that's one of the reasons I stuck with it for so long. Star Rail's element matching. So Star Rail's element matching damage system could also push me to pull new units. Exactly, that's what's pushing me to pull for new units. But once you get 2 or 3 of each type, that loses its luster too, because it's honestly just Simon Says ice weakness, occasionally I choose you. Exactly. You're 100% correct. You are definitely 100% correct. But now, the whole point was that is supposed to be challenging in and of itself. So it's like, okay, I've got a boss that summons a lot of mobs. I need AoE damage, so I'm gonna use an ice AoE character. Okay, I've got a really strong single target boss. Okay, I'm gonna use an ice hunt character. Okay, it is this kind of Simon Says. Like, he's right about it being Simon Says, but I already knew it was Simon Says from the very beginning, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm gonna go for, this is what I want, and this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna do it. Okay, I'm gonna have a character from each different path, from each element on my account, and then and only then I'll be like, okay, I think I'm done. Alright, but until then, unless I get really bored of the game, I'm gonna keep on playing, keep on saving up, keep on summoning for the characters, enjoy the story, and just go through the game. I feel like that's what the devs really wanted to do in the first place. It's all about completionism and like collection. I suppose I could get my hit of progression from the process of gearing the characters I have, but Star Rail's relic system is so flagrantly unfair that I haven't wanted to engage with it. Yeah, but to be honest, you don't really need a crazy build. You need to have a perfect build or perfect substats. Also, don't forget that they give you a lot of stuff as well. Like, listen, I've been dog shitting on, like, I've been shitting on Honkai Star Rail's relic system a lot, and it is justified, right? The relic system is really, really bad. But to be honest, they give you like modeling resins, and they give you kind of a lot of them. Like, they give you a lot of events that give you them, and obviously the battle pass if you buy it. So yeah, like, at least they give you a guaranteed main stat for a thing that you want from the set that you want. Genshin doesn't do that. Genshin just like, yo, you could get shit on for 2 months doing the same fucking domain, which is what I've been doing, right? Ever since Fontaine launched, I have been grinding the same artifact domain over and over again, and I wasn't even able to this day, so this is like what, 7 weeks now, or even more than that Fontaine has been out. I have not been able to replace my Lava Walker set for Looney with the new set that's his best in slot. 7 fucking weeks of grinding that domain every day. So there is your counter fucking argument where both of those systems are dog shit. Just because this dog shit is a bit bigger than the other dog shit doesn't mean it's still not dog shit, okay? So, anyway, the odds are stacked against you even more than in Genshin. You have to get 6 ideal armor pieces per character as opposed to Genshin's 4, plus 1 massively being a flexible offset piece, which is 100% true, but they're still shit. And the correct stats drop far less frequently. I'll min-max Genshin builds to an absurd degree, but I quickly settle for any half-decent setup in Star Rail because trying for improvements felt like praying for a heat wave in the Arctic. The loot system makes Diablo 4 pre-season 1 look like Diablo 4 season 2, and I don't need more toxic RNG in my life. Why do you play gacha games then, bro? What is this? Oh my goodness. Okay, I see. That's actually a very good comparison, bro. Now I can't even relate to Diablo 4 Season 2 because I haven't played it yet, although I want to. My friends are playing it, they want me to get back into it. But I did play Diablo 4 Pre-Season 1, and I'm gonna tell you this, right? I played a Twisting Blade rogue, and I quit at level 76 because I could not get specific unique ancestral boots to switch my build up. So I literally quit the game because I got bored of running the same build and running the same fucking nightmare dungeons over and over again. I shit you not, I was falling asleep while I was playing the game. And I'm just like, nope, fuck it. Like, the fucking XP bar is moving at a slow pace. I'm level 76. I need 24 more levels to even be able to attempt Uber Lilith. Fuck this shit, I'm out. And I've taken this into perspective. They increased the XP boot. They increased the XP rate or level up rate by 40%. So if you do the maths, I was 76 when I quit. So if the XP rate was like this from the very beginning, I would have actually hit level 100 and done Uber Lilith before getting fucking bored. So yes, they knew they fucked up at that. They knew they fucked up at the beginning. I don't know how people have such an active mind and be able to interact with that game for so much. So many people, so many streamers from Diablo 4 had like multiple level 100 characters, and I don't know how they fucking do it. Like, how could you do such a monotonous task for so long, so much, without saying fuck this shit? I guess it's their job, so maybe I would have felt different if I was actually getting paid for it. Fuck knows, man. Like, I don't know. The weird thing is that Star Rail does a few things demonstrably better than Genshin. Yes, in my opinion, the thing that Star Rail does way better than Genshin is the amount of rewards we get, the amount of events we get. But I feel like they have to obfuscate the lack of exploration from Honkai Star Rail by doing a lot of events and giving us a lot of shit. Otherwise, people will get bored really quick. A lot of the usual gacha trapping feels more polished than to several quality of life. Nice ties, yeah, and its roguelike endgame beats the pants off of Genshin's Road Spiral of Abyss dungeon. True, endgame in Honkai Star Rail is better than Spiral of Abyss or Genshin's endgame because Genshin doesn't have an endgame. Kind of, you know, Honkai Star Rail that kind of doesn't as well. But the core doesn't have the same lasting appeal for me. I'm a bit sad to drop the JRPG, but in a way, this experience has been a relief. It makes it easier to recommend Star Rail as a fun game you can play for free, clear the main content, and drop like you would a non-gacha JRPG. After all, that's now what it's done. Wait, that's now what I've done. I bet with some light spending along the way, probably less than the price of a normal JRPG altogether. It's fine, even if you spend more, it's fine. Instead of playing it for free, so whatever. If you feel like spending, just spend it. Especially if you can. It's also proven to me that I can have some real fun with Rail versus upcoming games like Honkai Star Rail 3rd Part 2. What the fuck? Releasing Part 2? And Zenless Zone Zero. I'm probably gonna play Zenless Zone Zero. It looks like a cool game. Without signing up for a long-term commitment, Genshin just hits different. I reckon I'll be here until the servers go dark. I'll probably play Genshin until the servers go dark as well. The thing about Genshin is every single part you get introduced with a wide range and a wide variety of stuff. You got the new characters if you've got the primo gems and you're interested in, so you can summon for them and have fun with them. Obviously, the spiral rotates and the spiral rotates, and you could try different characters if it's the same spiral, or you could go for different teams, right? Like I said before, there is the exploration and the character quests / story quests. So if you're invested in the story or you like the characters, you can do the character story quests and stuff like that, right? Which is also enjoyable. They could do a good job at storytelling, although there is a lot they talk about sometimes or too much. Yeah, they do a really good job at that. So there is just a lot of different things. Obviously, events, fighting, battles, exploration. You've got a lot of things in Genshin that if you've got if you've got a really versatile mind, you will enjoy, right? Whereas in Honkai, it's mainly the story and the challenge, or the turn-based aspects, the challenging turn-based aspects that the game provides, right? So yeah, it really feels like the lack of exploration could drag down Honkai Star Rail a lot, but we'll see. We'll see what the future provides. But yeah, damn. Okay. Austin Wood, yo, that was a good article, man. I really didn't think I was gonna talk about this for 50 minutes. I really do like rambling on, don't I? Anyway, I'm gonna end it off here. Right, it's time to stream. I'm gonna stream right now at twitch.tv/doma17. You know, everything's up there. I'm about to summon for Topaz, so today I'm summoning for Topaz. I'm probably trying the new Simulated Universe. So come through, check me out, give me a follow. You know, whenever you see me, just come through and say hi. You know, we're chilling. We're always chilling, playing video games, having fun talking. But yeah, that settles it. Let me know down below about your own opinions. Is there anything that I've been talking about that was kind of like BS in your opinion? Let me know. I want to know what you feel like about Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact. Which one do you like better or more? Which one do you prefer playing the most? And just your overall opinions on this whole article overall. I feel like this is a really interesting one. I really wanted to talk about this and give my viewpoints and stuff like that. So yeah, let me know. Let me know. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Okay, I appreciate you guys. Take care, stay safe, and I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, take care. Bye bye.